I just watched the Wildhearts gameplay from last week. Oh boy, does that not look good. It looks good, but I have a few problems with it that I just want to talk about. This is kind of an off the top of my head video, so it might get a little stuttery. But let's sit through, let's watch. I don't have a problem with whatever they're doing, where if it's like open world or if it's Monster Hunter-esque stuff. If it's open world, that would be interesting, but then that would mean you have boss spawns and things like that. So I don't know what they're doing with Wildhearts. It is an EA and Koei Tecmo game, so I don't have high hopes. I'm gonna be honest. The concept looks interesting with building all of these different contraptions and being able to summon them. It looks interesting. Like all this action. Is it hard to read for anybody else? Because like right there, I already lost the character. And then it's like, I keep losing, I kind of lose track of the character and where he is. And it's like, especially with all the flowers and stuff, it's like, I'm losing track of the character. Like the first time through, I lost track of the character so much in this fight. Like I thought maybe it's just me. Which it could just be me. But I feel like you lose track of him a lot more in this. And I think the problem with it is the size of the boss. I think that's 100% the problem with Wildhearts. I think that's what its main problem is going to be, is the size of the boss and the distance of the camera from the player. It feels like it is far too close. In like the open world-ish section, okay, yeah, it looks all right. But I feel like in the boss sections, it should be pulled back a bit because your bosses are so large, it looks like. From the other trailers I've seen, the bosses look fairly large. And it's like the game doesn't look bad, but trying to see like the boss's attacks, it's going to be hard. Because, okay, yeah, there's that wind up there, but what if they have a quick attack that doesn't have a lot of build up? You're not going to be able to see that. Compared to something like Monster Hunter, where you can always see the full body. Like, or at least 90% of the time, you can see the full body of the monsters in Monster Hunter. But here, it's like, yeah, backing off, you can see it. You can see the full body. But when you're up close, there's no way you're seeing everything. You're not going to be able to see that whole body because of like how large it is. And how close the camera is to the player. I think that's the big thing that's off with the game. I know it's still early footage. It's not final gameplay, but if it's to this stage of polish, I think it is close to final gameplay. It's just the thing that feels off to me is just the distance from the player. If you back that camera off a little bit, I think it'll be fine. But keeping it that close in combat with something that big, I get you're trying to go for like a kind of scale, but like where's this attack going to hit? Where all is that attack hitting? What's hitting? Like where? That's the thing. Where is it going to hit? You can't tell. Like you can kind of tell where the direction it's going to hit, but it's like how far is it going to? Does it have an AoE? I think that's the big problem with this game. I think that's going to be the big problem is just the clarity of the fights. It isn't clear. You can't see all of the boss. And that's a problem with a boss this big and with games like this. Yeah, I don't know. There's something about just this game that feels off, and it's not just because it's an EA game. It's just there's something that's missing. Something there's that little oomph that doesn't do it for me. Is that weird to say? It's kind of weird to say, isn't it? It doesn't look bad. It looks fine. It's just, like Mike said, there's something off. And I agree. And I think it's the camera in correlation to the size of the bosses. And I think you need to pull that camera back a little bit farther. But that's my opinion on it. So I hope you guys enjoyed that little talk about Wild Hearts. I do want to do videos like this kind of every Tuesday. And if you guys did enjoy this, check out my other videos. On the end card here, I have a playlist of my first impressions videos, my 10-hour impressions, and I have the latest one I did on Grounded. If you guys like the video and you like my content, hit that subscribe button. It really does help me out a hell of a lot.